What up, everybody? At the end of 4 Season 1, after Jannard betrayed Diamond, but Diamond spared Jannard's life, giving him one more chance. They divided CBI in half. Whatever soldiers wanted to go with Diamond went with Diamond and remained with CBI, while Jannard rebranded his crew to be called Treason. They also divided territory, with Diamond taking everything north of Marquette. At the conclusion of Season 1, Diamond circled his area on the map and said it's not much. But Tommy said it's yours and went on to say that he wants the whole map. At this point, Tommy and Diamond became partners and started running CBI together. After Jack and Miguel's product, one of the first moves that they made to expand was the place Diamond knew better than the South Side, the place where he spent 15 years, the prisons, and using a CO Diamond smasher named Kendra to help. But this was soon met by opposition because Rojas, who Diamond put in a chair, and his crew ran the prison. So at this point, CBI made their first gang alliance when Kendra forced Rojas to start working with Diamond and CBI, getting his product from them instead of the Serbs at a better price. And either though this was first met by opposition from Rojas' crew, with Tommy having to kill a kid in the zoo bathroom, things got smoothed out between CBI and Rojas' crew after that, either though Rojas will always hold a grudge against Diamond for putting him in that chair. While CBI was making moves, things were falling apart for Jannard and Treason. After Tommy killed Chewie for switching sides, Jannard's crew wanted to retaliate, but Diamond warned Jannard that he didn't want to go to war, and Jannard told his people not to make a move. But Lil K made a move anyway and accidentally killed a kid when he was aiming for Tommy. And this caused a joint local federal task force to be created in Chicago to try to take down the gangs and stop the violence. Then Tommy warned Jannard that he needs to take out Lil K for what he did, and if he didn't, Tommy would come for Jannard. So Jannard ended up killing Lil K, but at the same time falling deeper into drug use, not just doing coke but also getting into heroin as well. After Treason found out Lil K was dead, they again wanted to retaliate before Jannard admitted to Gray Skull and the guys with him that he killed Lil K, causing Jannard to fight Gray Skull and the guys that he was with before they left Treason and joined the RDs. So while Jannard was down bad on drugs, in debt to the Serbs, and cut off by Miguel, Diamond said that he would talk to Tommy about getting Jannard back in CBI. And Tommy agreed when he found out the deal came with Shanti's Showstopper in Garfield Park. So now CBI had their full territory back, plus Garfield Park, the county lockups, and distro to Rojas' crew. But at the same time that Diamond was giving Jannard another chance to join CBI, Vic Flynn had just killed his father and taken over control of the Northside Irish, and he also joined up with Tommy and CBI. Either though it was as a snitch, the money was still coming in, and the territory now belongs to CBI. And around the same time frame, once Jannard's crew switched over to the RDs, one of the first things they did was shoot up a diner that Diamond was eating at, yelling CBI killers, possibly an initiation or proof of loyalty in joining the RDs. The RDs and CBI had been beefing since '94 when the first split of CBI happened, and before that they were one gang. And this caused Diamond to reach out to the leader of the RDs, King Kilo, who Diamond was in prison with, to talk about forming a coalition, something that they had dreamed about while locked up together. And King Kilo agreed to join the coalition under the terms that the RDs get half of the distro in the joint, something Tommy and Diamond ultimately agreed to. But with the RDs joining the coalition, this didn't just unite two crews that had been beefing for almost 30 years, but it also brought in some of the same guys that had just quit Jannard's gang and joined the RDs, like Gray Skull and C4. While we already know that Gray Skull has a problem with both Tommy and Jannard, C4 was the main one who was shooting up the diner that Diamond was at in Season 2. And at the end of Season 1, he was who stopped Jannard from shooting Diamond. So this kid can't seem to decide who he wants to be loyal to. But notice that both Gray Skull and C4 We're at the coalition meetings in the final episode of season 2. So we already know that Jannard and Shanti are plotting behind the scenes, and Vic Flynn is working with the feds. But how many people that we don't even see coming are also plotting behind the scenes? Because we already know from the season 3 trailer that Grayskull hasn't gotten over what Jannard did, as the trailer shows Grayskull and his crew with their guns drawn on Jannard and CBI. Not to mention, like I said, we already know that Rojas is still holding a grudge against Diamond. In addition to the people who joined CBI with Jannard, like Raheem, who we also know has a problem with Tommy and wasn't happy about getting demoted back down to corner boy status when they joined CBI. But after getting the RDs and having the north and south side completely locked down, Tommy's next move was getting more territory on the west side and reaching out to the biggest crew on the west side other than Miguel's Insane Prince gang, the DSDs, Division Street Devils, with leader Chavo Cardenas. And this was probably the only crew who joined the coalition that CBI didn't have prior bad history with. Diamond said him and Chavo came up around the same time, but they never really crossed paths. And the final gang to join the coalition was another gang that CBI had previously had beef with, and that's the SODs, the Sons of Destruction. When Tommy went to meet with the SODs, he had Vic and Jannard with him, and neither of them understood why Tommy was trying to work with the SODs. So things within the coalition are very fragile given the history of all these gangs, and one thing could cause everything to go left and start popping off, and all these gangs to be back at war with each other. And with that said, keep in mind that one of the season 3 teasers has Shanti saying that this is going to be a war like we've never seen before. This could be talking about gang wars in the streets of Chicago, fighting over power and control of territory after things with the coalition go left. And one of the things that could shift the balance of power and change everything would be if something happens to Che in the Estrada cartel. Because out of all the teasers and the official trailer, Che still hasn't been seen yet. And because Che and the Estrada cartel are basically supplying the majority of the city of Chicago, being the connect for CBI and Miguel's gang. So if something happened to Che, there could potentially be chaos in the streets of Chicago. If we see a major drought in season 3 with CBI and Miguel looking for a new connect. And with that said, to add another gang to the mix, we also know that the Marquez cartel will have a bigger role in season 3, as the trailer mentions a street war between CBI and the Marquez cartel. And since we pretty much know that Jannard is going to be rising back up to the top of CBI in season 3, replacing Tommy as Diamond's partner, we also have to keep in mind that Jannard also has more enemies who could be coming for him, in addition to Grayskull and his crew, who we already know from the trailer will eventually beef with Jannard in season 3. Keeping in mind that Jannard robbed a dealer named Manny Fresh in season 2, and we don't know who exactly she's connected to, but things are personal for Manny Fresh when it comes to Jannard, because he didn't just rob her, he took her chain that was a gift from her father. And also going back to season 1, Jannard killed Moish's second in command over a pack of Dahlia. And the Hasidic Jews played a big role in season 1, but weren't seen in season 2 and could potentially return in season 3, adding another dynamic to the gang wars. And to add another crew from season 1 that wasn't mentioned in season 2 that could come back and to be a part of the Chicago gang wars is the Yardis and their leader, Zamos. Zamos was mentioned multiple times in season 1, but has never been shown on screen. So I hope we get an introduction to the Zamos character in season 3 as well. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.